gentlemen, and thank you for watching the show. This is your top human rights organization review. I'm your host, Bryce Dolan. Now today on the show, Human Rights Watch has an update about the media shutdowns in Turkey. Turkey's government has all but silenced independent media in an effort to prevent scrutiny or criticism of its ruthless crackdown on perceived enemies. The assault on critical journalism sharpened in 2014, but accelerated after the failed coup attempt in July 2016, denying Turkey's population access to a regular flow of independent information from domestic newspapers, radio, and television stations about developments in the country. The 69-page report titled "Silencing Turkey's Media: The Government's Deepening Assault on Critical Media" documents 5 important components of the crackdown on independent domestic media in Turkey, including the use of the criminal justice system to prosecute and jail journalists on bogus charges of terrorism, insulting public officials, or crimes against the state. Human Rights Watch also documented threats and physical attacks on journalists and media organizations. Government interference with editorial independence and pressure on media organizations to fire critical journalists, the government's takeover or closure of private media companies, and restrictions on access to the airwaves, fines, and closure of critical television stations. The Turkish government and president's systematic effort to silence media in the country is all about preventing public scrutiny, said Hugh Williamson, Europe and Central Asia Director at Human Rights Watch. Keeping 148 journalists and media workers in jail and closing down 169 media and publishing outlets under the state of emergency shows how Turkey is deliberately flouting basic principles of human rights and rule of law central to democracy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since the failed coup attempt in 2016, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has issued a state of emergency since. Now, a state of emergency is only supposed to last 90 days. After those 90 days expired, President Erdogan keeps extending that state of emergency, giving him executive power to essentially do anything to protect the country that could be a matter of national security. And by national security, that's President Erdogan's definition of national security. So journalists criticizing him or media outlets criticizing him and his government is to him considered a national security issue. So we're calling on Turkey to stop this media shutdown and let these journalists free. 148 journalists and media workers are currently jailed in Turkey right now. So we are demanding that Turkey reopen these media outlets, release these journalists and media workers immediately, and end this state of emergency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was only a fraction of this article on Human Rights Watch. If you want to check out the entire article, and I encourage you to do so, you can find the link directly below in the description. When you do that, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified every time a new video is posted. Make sure you give our Facebook pages a like and follow us on Twitter. But that does it for the top human rights organization review. I was your host, ladies and gentlemen, Bryce Dolan.